Hi, my name is Vamsi, and I'm the cybersecurity architect here at NextGen. Today, I want to cover the 5 latest trends of cybersecurity due to COVID-19. So let's get started. Just within the last couple months, we've seen a huge rise in cyber attacks all over the world. In the US, workers received a slew of phishing attacks after the passing of a government relief bill. In Germany, the first death reported following a ransomware attack on a hospital occurred. The death happened after a patient was diverted to a nearby hospital after the Dusseldorf hospital suffered a ransomware attack. In the Czech Republic, a cyber attack halted all urgent surgeries and rerouted critical patients in a busy hospital fighting COVID. Despite a global pandemic that has halted daily life, hackers have made it clear that they're not taking a vacation. In fact, it seems like they're rejoicing. Now that many companies have shifted to working remotely and organizations are completely distracted trying to handle the virus, security and risk management teams need to be more vigilant than ever. So here are 5 areas to focus on. 1. Update your incident response protocols. Now that everyone has shifted to remote work, your ecosystem has changed. The trust boundaries are now different, and you have new vectors of attack possible from all sorts of angles. Review your plans to account for all of these differences. 2. Focus on securing your endpoints. Make sure that all the hardware that employees are using are patched and tested for security. Everyone shifted to remote work so quickly, they were focusing on functionality versus security. Ensure that corporate laptops have at least the minimum viable endpoint protection. Security teams should be giving a guidance on what to do and what not to do here, right? Those are their main responsibilities. 3. Increase your cyber budget. While overall budgets are being reduced to account for the market's performance, it's important to stay vigilant and buy the proper tools and training to keep your company safe. Now is not the time to cut corners. It could cost you more in the long run in the event of an attack. Training is an area that should definitely be stressed. There's a huge rise in phishing attacks, and you want your employees to be aware of what's happening. Invest in both software tools and actual training to avoid this low-hanging fruit that hackers love. Social engineering is another aspect to watch out for. The reality is that employees will have more distractions than usual, whether it's having kids at home, worrying about family, or even concerns about their own health. They're also operating in a completely different environment and might not be as vigilant about security during a time when cybercriminals will exploit the complete chaos. Make sure you reach out to senior leaders with examples of spear phishing attacks. And you also want to alert employees of the escalating cyber threat environment. Remind them that they remain focused and hypervigilant to suspicious activities. If appropriate, send out reminders, right? Maybe every 2 weeks, and remind them of the location of important documents such as remote and mobile working policies, as well as where they can access security awareness training in the event they ever need a refresher. Further, it's very important that you clearly communicate who to contact and what to do if employees suspect a cyber attack. 4. Make sure your security tools are pointed in the right direction and you have proper visibility. The sudden relocation of much of the workforce, including security and risk management teams, to remote locations has created a potential for cybersecurity teams to completely miss events. So to prevent this, ensure that your monitoring tools and capabilities are providing maximum visibility. So you want to check for internal security monitoring capabilities and log management rules, right? Set them so you enable full visibility. And if you're using a managed security service provider, check in to see how they're adapting to monitor the logs and the overall management that makes sense for this new landscape. 5. monitor your supply chain and your security services. The changes in the security landscape won't just come from within your own organization. So you have to be aware of what your partners are doing and the supply chains are actively doing with regard to security that affects your own organization. You want to confirm how they'll be securing all of this collected data and information from the business. Remember, each of these organizations has to worry about their own people and their own business concerns. So you want to ask questions about where the third-party organizations might fail to deliver on all of these promised security services. Make sure to get these 5 things in order and you're on your way to a more secure organization. And as always, we cover all these fundamentals in our course. Sign up and subscribe to learn more.
Jacob Hess here. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you really enjoyed it. And I'd also like to remind you, if you're truly serious about your career in information technology, be sure to check out our IT engineer training programs at www.zerotoengineer.com.